decided to try out this game, but unfortunately among my friend group, I was the only one to get it on Steam, so I decided to try it out and grind out to get to level 6 to see if I can get a beta key for my friends. Before we get to all of that, what is Marvel Rivals? Well, if you're familiar to Overwatch, it's almost the same exact thing except with Marvel characters, obviously. And we all love our Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, the Incredible Hulk, and so on. I don't believe this is the full releasement of all the characters, and more characters will appear once the game has been officially released. At least that's my hope, because this character roster is not the most I kind of wanted. I kind of want to play as other characters, but you know, it is a base release. There's like loads of villains and heroes we know and love, and they're just missing out. And I feel like I'm missing out. You know, I want to try out some other characters that I know and love. There's only one game mode in this beta test, and that's delivering the payload, or it's called different things when you're playing other different maps. You will be responsible for either defending or attacking with the payload. Just like in Overwatch, you'll need to either stop the team from getting to your end of the map if you're defending, or advance toward numerous checkpoints if you're on the attacking side. In my experience, attacking is a lot easier than defending in this game, but I will get into that later. Now I'm going to break down my opinion on this game so far. This is all based on 1 day of playing, so take that with a grain of salt while I was grinding to level 6 to get this code. But unfortunately, I couldn't really get my code for my friend because it is very limited access with the code, so I will tell you guys that with a grain of salt. I will let you guys know how to get a code just in case you guys are confused, but I'll say that later on in the video. I want to talk about visually how this game looks. The game looks amazing visually. Everything looks vibrant and colorful. It gives the vibe of the Marvel universes. There are times when I feel like I'm just playing an Overwatch game though, but with a more comic tone to it. If there was like a shader in Overwatch, this is the kind of vibe that I would get. That's usually what I feel like when I'm playing the game, but as you look around and actually admire the view, it does give off a very unique vibe to it. I know they couldn't go full comic vibe because it would look too strange, but I feel like they did a very good job with the discussion of the artistic style of the maps, the characters. I do like how everything kind of looks. It does fit the characters quite well. I can see why some people don't like it, but I am a fan of it. With that visual aesthetics, of course you gotta talk about the maps. There are 3 maps that are accessed in the beta. I am gonna butcher these names. I am sorry, but there are 3 of them. There's the Yggdrasil, Yggdrasil's Path, the Royal Palace, and
dangerous?
those 2 maps are when you're in Asgard, so you're basically following the stuff with Loki and the aesthetic of what Asgard kind of was. If you ever watched the MCU, you're kind of going for that type of vibe. And Tokyo 2099 is just Tokyo in Shinshibuya, basically basing off of the 2099 timeline. The futuristic kind of thing, if you're talking about, you know, the Spider-Man going to that 2099 timeline. I don't have any footage for the Royal Palace. I only got 2 of the maps when I'm playing my 12 games, but I'm a big fan of the Shinshibuya map. I like the vibe. This could be because I'm a massive fan of anime, but the way that this place is just completely colored around, the lighting of the building just kind of keeps you calm while you're destroying the entire team or getting destroyed at the same exact time. While you're playing the game, some areas of the map can be destroyed while you're fighting to give the impact of how much power you're actually doing, which I believe in Overwatch should be included in their games. The destruction of the buildings kind of give an extra layer to the game to avoid letting that Spider-Man snipe you from the top, or just when you're playing as the Hulk and smashing through things. It's great visually. It's a great thing to kind of have. And honestly, I give that rating like visually altogether an 8 out of 10. I'm happy with it. You can't go wrong with something visually. That's not really what you're kind of going for. The main thing you want to go for is the gameplay. Now let's talk about the game itself. I won't be talking about every single character in the roster. There are too many. There are only a few that I was able to make some videos out of. If you watch my other video about when I actually played the game, you see me play I think 2-3 different characters. But I was able to play some more off camera. But even for beta, its range of characters that you can play as, they're pretty decent. As much as it's not the entire Marvel cast, it is a pretty good range of characters. Characters are divided into main classes: tank, support, and damage, which in this game is called Vanguard, Strategist, and Duelist in retrospect. To kind of give their unique... the characters I've been playing have been Rocket Raccoon as a strategist, Spider-Man as a duelist, Venom, Groot, and Hulk as Vanguard in the game. I always play as Vanguard. I'm always played as a tank or support, so I usually play those two different characters. But I decided to kind of try it out, playing more Spider-Man during these videos. Though I've seen numerous times the same heroes are on the battlefield when I'm playing against them. Magneto, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch are pretty loved among other people. They must be pretty powerful because I keep getting wrecked. As you can assume, each character plays quite differently and also with different difficulties. Spider-Man, for my first game, was very difficult to play with a 5-star rating. The swinging in my idea is still very clunky and strange in comparison as to when we played Sony Marvel Spider-Man. But of course, it's a significantly different game to play. Like Overwatch, you have to take the time with each character and practice to really learn how to use the abilities and how to mesh with your teammates as well. Each character, of course, is very loved. So please take your time to give your opinions on each and every character. Everyone will have different opinions on them, eventually until the meta is found. One of the unique things about this game is that if your team decided to play a specific pairing with a pairing, that's something that's very unique. If there's a pair up, especially like Spider-Man, Venom, and Penny Parker, then Spider-Man and Penny Parker will have access to a Venom ability that isn't originally part of their core abilities. And that is actually very cool. It allows more things for their characters to do. I am actually a huge fan of this because it allows people to coordinate with one another on champions more similarly like you would do in Smite or League, which I haven't experienced too much in Overwatch. In Overwatch, you always play individually and you adjust. With Marvel Rivals, you could do the same exact thing, but you could actually boost each other when playing specific heroes. One of the things I'm worried about, though, is how meta some of these pair-ups are going to be. I'm a little worried if these pair-ups just might appear in every single game, and then we'll be forced to have them nerfed because the idea of a unique playing is gone. But that's a future problem, so the beta, just ignore it. But one of the things I have a problem with this game is how I feel like when my hits aren't doing anything. I could be using my ultimate with Spider-Man, and I have no idea if I'm doing any damage until I see KO counters in the top right corner. I could be beating the crap out of a character, and as a gamer, as much as I see the health going down, I have the feeling that I'm not doing anything. I could get the wombo combo going and get the KO, and then I'm like, did I actually hit anything? With Overwatch, you tend to have an audio cue if you're hitting something, or when you get a kill, right? I tried to hear something with Rocket Raccoon when spraying his machine gun, but I didn't feel a single thing. I think there's a visual cue, but sometimes when there's so much happening, you can't really look at your hit marker. It could just be me and I missed it, but that kind of turned me off a little bit. I wanted to feel like I'm doing damage to people with Venom smacking them with my tentacles, or as Groot when I'm throwing my orbs at them. I don't really get that impact when playing the game. To be honest, it feels more like a chore when playing the game. It doesn't feel like the heroes were doing any damage, even if they were. But that's me being picky. I like to feel the impact that I'm doing I like to feel the impact that I'm doing to the player. So anyways, the mode. Carrying the payload is a common mode which I can't complain too much about. I complained in my playthrough video about how I felt defense I complained in my playthrough video about how I felt defense was screwed over because I felt the respawn points were too far away. As much as I was kind of overreacting to that at the time of playing, I do feel like it's a bit much. There are tons of points in the game where you have to traverse long meters just to make it to the payload, and the attackers are already at the next checkpoint. I'm not saying it's impossible to win as defense. It's not. I have won a few. But I feel like even when I'm attacking, I'm like, okay, I win this because I'm attacking. Because we're attacking. We didn't play significantly better. we just were attacking, and then it takes them a while to get to us. But that could just be me. In Overwatch, you had to be smart with every move and plan it out, and anything could change the tide. In this, I feel like the defense have to be demolishing the offense every single time that they have a chance. It can't be a back and forth thing like in Overwatch. In Overwatch, you go back and forth, attack and win, the defense can come back and slow them down. But this, I feel like it's favoring the offense. And because of that, I have to lower the gameplay down to like a 6 out of 10. As much as there's uniqueness and such, I feel like I'm not having too much fun playing the game. It's more just a chore. It could be my bias against Overwatch in general. I'm not a hugest fan of Overwatch, even though I've had fun playing Overwatch. But I feel like it's like, oh, I'm done with the game after 5 minutes, but it feels like an hour. A 5-minute game should not feel like an hour. Now, to the end of this video, and how to get a code. I know this review is really short. I only played it for one day, and I wanted to make sure I get a video out. So how do you get a code? I mentioned earlier that I was playing the game to get a code for my friend. Unfortunately, there's a limited amount of times given for people that reach level 6 every day at 8 p.m. EST. I turned level 6 at 8:05, and I couldn't get my friend a code. That's how limited it is. So how can you get a code? Well, from July 25th to July 27th, or July 28th, something on Twitch, Stream will be able to drop beta key accesses. This will allow the communities, as long as they watch for an hour, you'll need to go to the website and then get a key for your specific platform. So make sure you watch the Twitch stream for an hour, get a key access, head to the Marvel Rivals website, and get a key a beta key code. I messed up so many words there. So honestly, you can watch anybody. I will also be live during that period for those that want a code. There's no guarantee, but I will most likely be live during that time. Just twitch.tv/LittleBigCamper in the description. Make sure you follow you if you want a code. I played different games on there as well, so make sure if you get a code and if you want to play Marvel Rivals, maybe I'll see you out there in the battlefield during that. Well, that was my short and fast Marvel Rivals review that I wanted to release to all of you. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and more of my reviews. I'm hoping to do more of these, especially for games that I played in my playthrough channel. I've been planning on doing a lot of these videos like that and just giving up reviews and what I really think about playing those games after spending hours and hours on those games. But I'll see you guys on my next video or even on Twitch. Peace out.
Catch my back. You must look behind. Catch my back. What's your back? Smoke I'm back. This is real firepower!
I like the cold. It's now or never! Stop them!
Things are gonna be different this time.
Don't give them another inch! Or else.
You're welcome.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Well, you can't expect to win them all.